Good afternoon, Wealth Our Way family. What is going on? The weekends just keep me apart from you, and it just gives me so much energy to know it's Monday and that I'm back in front of the family. My name is Charles Tank Harris. I am the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I want to just say thank you and give much love and respect to all of you who are out here watching us stream live on either Facebook or YouTube. And as always, a special salute to Wealth Our Way Nation that catches us overnight on the weekends, wherever you can squeeze 15 minutes in to get your financial literacy fix in. What a weekend, right? Everybody seemed to be tuned to the TV Saturday night as Mr. Tesla, as I like to call him, Elon Musk, got up there and hosted Saturday Night Live and had to talk about at some point. We all waited for what he was going to say about Dogecoin. And of course, not only did he mention giving his mother some for Mother's Day, he also on the news segment of Saturday Night Live did a little skit centered around Dogecoin. And as a result, we saw some crazy price fluctuations last week. So let me talk to those of you who may be a lot more like me than not like me and hadn't actually heard of Dogecoin until a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to have a whole series next week on why it is time to invest in blank right now. We're going to have a 5-day series. Each day, I'm bringing on a different guest, and each guest will tell you why they believe it's the time to invest in blank that day. I'm bringing on somebody to do real estate. I'm bringing on someone to do equities. Equities are stocks. We've talked about that before. I'm bringing on someone to do cryptocurrency. I'm bringing on someone to talk about small businesses. And I'm bringing someone on to talk about investing in oneself. It's going to be a great week. Don't miss next week. I'm doing that as a kind of a get the monkey off our back from filing our taxes next Monday at the deadline. We're going to get into a whole new year of love and life. With that being said, there are a lot of people out here right now who don't understand or know what cryptocurrency is. And those who even do know a little bit about a cryptocurrency, the basic format of it, have only heard of the more popular stable coins like Bitcoin. So I guess it was at the end of December, end of last year, where Elon Musk and a few other people started to talk very, very heavily about this alternative coin called Dogecoin. I think I should start right there with defining the difference between a stable coin and an alternative coin. So the best way for me to give you an example is to talk about the stock market. And whether you're a well-versed, seasoned investor in the stock market or not, most people who know what the stock market is have heard of the S&P 500 index or the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You've also heard of penny stocks. That's the best comparison I can give you between a stable coin and an alternative coin. It's like a big, well-capitalized, and well-capitalized means there's a lot of people who have purchased it and own it. Well-capitalized company stock and a penny stock, which is a fly-by-night starting out, could go, as Elon Musk always says about Dogecoin, to the moon, or it could go to the toilet. So you take a lot more risk with a penny stock, but there's the upside for a lot more return. I believe, and this is all relative to what day and time you got introduced to Dogecoin, I believe the majority of the people started to hear about Dogecoin when it was trading at 1/12 of 1 cent, maybe even smaller than that. I hear a lot of people who have made money in Dogecoin, friends of mine, people that went to college with me. And this is where I may start to sound a little bougie, so forgive me. They didn't make a whole bunch of money. They may have made a whole bunch of money relative to what they put in. They may have even made a whole bunch of money compared to what they think a whole bunch of money is. But I haven't talked to anybody or heard from anyone who made life-changing money. Life-changing money to me means you don't have to go to work tomorrow because your life has changed. I haven't heard of one person that I know personally who's made more than $50,000, $100,000 in Dogecoin. Now, once again, do not get me wrong. The neighborhood I grew up in, and even the majority of the people that I went to college with, if you gave any of us $100,000, that's going to fix a lot of problems for us. But I doubt it makes any of us not need to go to work next week. So, with that being said, why do I bring that up? Why is that important? I find that a lot of people are focusing on trying to get rich quick or focusing on trying to make outpaced, outlandish returns, which common sense tells you, okay, I can accept that. I can accept that you want to make a lot of money. But if you're going to risk almost everything to make a lot of money, the return needs to be commensurate with never having to work again, or at least being able to seriously change how you work. And when you're putting $100, even $1,000 in something, and that 100 or 1,000 turns into 10,000 or 100,000, like I said, that's a year's salary, 2 years salary at best for most of the people that I know. It's not going to change your life. So let's talk about the rise, drawback, and hopefully stabilization of Dogecoin just over the last week. I was at dinner Tuesday night, and here I got to kind of go on another little tangent real quick. The last serious financial crisis we realized in this country was when we had all of these mortgage-backed securities and derivatives go bad in 2008. It crushed the housing market, which subsequently almost crushed the entire economy for good. It put serious pressure on the dollar. It put some huge, well-known old companies like Bear Stearns completely out of business. It was a mess. I have referenced this movie called The Big Short here on this program before. And The Big Short did a great job of, in a comedic way, running us through the housing crisis of 2008. I would suggest that any of you have some time, watch The Big Short. There's a scene in The Big Short, and you've heard me say this before, where there's a couple of guys at an investment bank trying to figure out what is going on in America with the housing crisis. They wanted to know, was it what they call a bubble? And a bubble is when things are fictitiously higher than they should be. Everything should trade at a value based on fundamentals. When the fundamentals are no longer guiding the price, when the price is being guided by emotions, you have the opportunity for a bubble to be created. And they were looking to find out if a housing bubble existed. They went to Florida. They were in a strip club. I think I can still say strip club on the air without getting in trouble. They went to a strip club and they were in the private room talking to an exotic dancer who was explaining to them that she had 4 properties that she had just got mortgages for with no incomes, no job, no asset verification. And at that point, they all turned to each other and said, yep, it's a bubble. When school teachers and exotic dancers and firemen are out here getting 5 mansion mortgages, there's a problem with the economics of everything. It's the same thing when you look at Dogecoin. I'm sitting in a restaurant, the couple behind me, I make no judgment as to how much money they made. I make no judgment as to who they were as people. From an appearance standpoint, they appeared to be everyday mom and pop America type of people. They were younger. They were in their late 20s, early 30s. I overheard them talking to the waiter about Dogecoin and how the gentleman who was of the couple said he had made $800 off of $10. And he said he wished he had got in earlier because his girlfriend had made $7,000 off of $500. So they were talking about this, and they were talking about Elon Musk going on Saturday Night Live. And I was like, yeah, I'm ear hustling at this point. And the guy said, yeah, as of right now, it's trading at around 40 cents a coin. But we all expect it to go to $1 when Elon Musk goes on Saturday Night Live. I left the restaurant and called a very good friend of mine who does a lot in cryptocurrency and asked him what was going on. He said, yeah, Tank. He said this coin has no basis to be doing this well. It's all being hyped up by Elon Musk and Mark Cuban and a few other people. He said, but in investments, it's about supply and demand. If enough people think it's going to go up, it'll go up. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to buy $5,000 of it. I went to go buy $5,000 of it on crypto.com because the trading site that I use for cryptocurrency is very reputable and it won't trade Dogecoin. It feels as though Dogecoin doesn't have enough of a strong enough presence or base to even be traded on there. So I went to another site that my buddy recommended. When I went to go open the crypto.com site, it told me it would take 3 business days to open my account due to increased demand. So that right there tells me, okay, more people are trying to buy this than they can even handle opening accounts, not because they know what they're doing, but because the news from Elon Musk and other people are motivating them to do it. Now, in essence, that sounds exactly like what I'm trying to do, except for we have to isolate motivations. My motivation isn't anything around Dogecoin. My motivation is around people and their psychology. And, it's an old story about 3 guys camping. And one of the guys wakes up because he thinks he hears something, and he wakes the other 2 guys up. And in fact, he did hear something. He heard a bear. And they realize there's a bear in the campsite, and they all start getting nervous. And the one guy starts getting dressed. And his friend says to him, "Why are you getting dressed? You can't outrun a bear." And he says, "I don't have to outrun the bear. I only have to outrun the 2 of you." And that is how I felt about Dogecoin last week. I didn't really care what Dogecoin was doing, its fundamentals or not. I wanted to trade on the emotional exuberance of the common person, because the common person seems to overreact to good news and overreact to bad news. So fortunately, even though I wasn't able to open a crypto.com account, my buddy was able to open up. He had an account open already, and he fronted me a purchase. And sure enough, I got in somewhere around 50 cents and it went to 70 cents. And he and I both have common sense. So we sold our positions before Saturday Night Live. And after that, now I believe it's trading back at 50 cents, but it had dropped down as low as 42 cents. The reality is that when you have something that is not going up and down because of fundamentals, but is going up and down because of people's emotions and the supply in and supply out of money, you're going to have wild fluctuating swings. Another thing in investments that I try to teach everyone who ever hears my voice is that you shouldn't focus on the actual dollar amount. Don't focus on 70 cent, 50 cent, 40 cent. Focus on percentages. And when something goes from 40 cent to 70 cent, that's almost an 80% increase. Conversely, when it goes from 70 cent down to 42 and it's lost 30 some cent, that's a 46% drop. If you are investing in anything that goes up and down 30 to 80% in a given day, you are not investing in anything at all. You are trading. You are speculating. I am not here to tell you to never do that. I'm not. I'm here to educate you on what it is you are doing. Speculating is not trading. Excuse me. Speculating is not investing. It's speculating. It's guessing. It's like when I sit at a blackjack table and I watch somebody hit 16 one time, and then the next time they get 16, tell me they're not really feeling it, so they don't hit it that time. If you knew what card was coming next, you wouldn't even be playing cards. You'd be on a beach somewhere, a multi-billionaire, because you got some type of superpower. No one knows. So you have to be more prudent in your decisions. So what happened to Dogecoin? What happened to Dogecoin is you have one person who has a great deal of popularity and a lot more money than the rest of us, taking advantage of the rest of us. It's because that the market can be manipulated so easily that you have so many people trying to figure out how to regulate and centralize what could be a beautifully decentralized, unregulated currency. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for attending. I'll be back tomorrow. I am so looking forward to next week when we have our Reasons to Invest in This Now series. You'll see it advertised all week. Please, please, please stay tuned. Please like, follow, and subscribe to our social media. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy.